That's all. What's most important for you at T-Shirt Kings, man?
Customer service, man. Taking care of my customers, making sure that they major.
What about your team?
I got the best team in the world. They get busy. They love the customers. We got a saying, I don't gotta go to work, I get to go to work.
What are some of the different styles of shirts that like you can get made here?
I got DTF printing. We are definitely the screen print kings. We turn that around immediately for you, which by the way is what separates us from other companies. Somebody will tell you it takes 2 weeks. I tell you it's gonna take 2 days.
Where do you see T-Shirt Kings like 5-10 years from now?
We're already the best t-shirt company in the world. We already are coming up with concepts that I don't see anybody else doing. You order 20 shirts, 10 of them are free. Bulk discounts, fast turnaround, and free designs.
Completely world class.
Deals every day.
Mega stars like Kanye West.
Deals every day.
Creativity.
Million shirts sold.
Bulk orders.
Deals every day.
Free designs for schools.
I love screen printing.
Deals every day.
Orders for everybody.
A million shirts sold.
Deals every day.
Buy one, get one free.
I love working
Deals
here at
every
T-Shirt
day.
Kings.
Schools, businesses, and sports teams.
Yes.
Deals every day.
Mega stars like Kanye West.
Deals every day.
I got the best team in the world. Creative artists.
Deals every day.
It's your homie C-Lock from Network and Chill, where the network is real and entrepreneurs build, man. Y'all come on and rock with us.
Sean Fields, man. Y'all know where to catch me every single Monday night. We coming with heat, man. Y'all better make sure y'all get y'all's priorities together, man. We going over small business entrepreneurship, some financial tips, man. Pete, tell me ready.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, it's your boy Peanut, CEO of Dash Resource LLC. Your business is my business, and this guy needs a logo. Pharaoh.
Yo, it's Pharaoh. Yeah, make sure you at Gym City Market. Monday, December 19th, man. We there. Entrepreneurs. Yeah, come on.
Welcome to the Single Mamas Podcast. My name is Brandy. I am your host and advocate, and also known as the Gym City Mama. Today, I am spotlighting this boo over here, Miss Sherry Nevins.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, Miss Sherry.
I appreciate it.
So we are going to have conversation about Sherry inside out. The one thing I know personally about you is I'm a hustler, baby.
Okay.
I just want you to know.
It ain't where I've been.
Okay. That's what I do know
Yes.
about Miss Sherry. And I feel like the one thing about you, I feel like you finally landed.
Thank you.
I think you've landed. And this goes back to conversation we had, in 16, maybe. Remember I had the little thing at the coffee house at Third Park.
Yes.
Yes. And I asked you at that time, I said, you a hustler. You know what I'm saying? You said, no, I'm going with this. And since then, you've been going with this. So 750 or above.
750 or above.
Is now your baby, and you are nurturing and cultivating. But let's talk about Sherry before we got to this.
Okay.
So this Sherry that I know grew up in the hood, grew up in my hood, and on the back streets, Highview Hills.
Yes.
Okay, I don't even think
Hillside.
it's called, right? Hillside. I was gonna say it's not even Highview Hills.
Yes.
Hillside. So we never had the pleasure of meeting or any of that until 16. We knew of each other. However, we didn't get to sit down, and I didn't get to get my hair done until like 2013, 14. So Sherry, tell us what schools
I went to. I actually went to
originate.
Yeah. I went to Gettysburg Elementary, Hickorydale, Fairport IMS.
Okay.
My high school was Meadowdale, but I got kicked out. I ended up going to Longfellow, alternative school, and that's where.
That's shocking.
I got into a fight, and they booted me out.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed Meadowdale for the time that I was there.
So then you ended up at the alternative.
I ended up at alternative school and Longfellow on Salem Avenue. And that's when I was in the process, in hindsight, finding myself. And I ended up getting into a relationship. I wanted a boyfriend so bad because that's what all my friends, they were having boyfriends. And I ended up getting with this guy, and he was abusive. And I dropped out of school 2 credits shy of graduating. And those were the schools that I went to. But fast forward, I have all kind of certifications and schools and all that
We'll get
stuff.
there,
But,
my
yeah.
love. So when it came down to your hustles, which is what I know, I always knew Sherry, but Sherry was everywhere. Sherry was on the go, like constantly on the go.
I like on the grow.
Yes,
Yeah.
on the grow. Okay, I go with that. I can
Yes,
go
yes.
with that. Okay, so when it came down to the hustles, I know hair was like your number one.
It was.
That was your starting point of entrepreneurship, correct?
You have a good memory,
Okay.
Brandy.
Okay.
Yes, hair. So how that came about, funny enough, my parents were married. They would have had their 55th anniversary April 12th. Raised 5 children. I was second to the oldest, and I had brothers. My sister came way later. But my mom, it was just kind of like, I had to fill it out. I had to figure it out. And times were changing with hairstyles. And, the glued on ducktails was in when people were having the ducktails. So you might be too young to remember that.
Young for that
Yeah,
one.
like it's coming back though. Yeah, it's like the mullet kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I wanted all those diverse styles, and I had to do it on my own. So I was figuring it out, and then my sister came along, and I was her stylist, and that's when things started to grow for me as a hairstylist. So,
do you miss hair?
Or
you still playing yours?
I don't. I like going to the salon and getting mine. I like the downtime and being pampered. So, I don't do my hair anymore. Thank you, Lord. But if I have to, I know how to.
So then we get to the hustling Sherry with for what I know, promoting parties, poetry, events. You've kind of like tapped into a nice portion of the entertainment industry when it comes down to promoting. So how did you get there?
Well, thank you for doing your research.
Well, this is what I know.
Thank you. So I decided, like, I'm the go-to in my family when it comes to like speaking at funerals and birthday parties, that kind of thing. So I've never really had any reservations on how to get it. Even if I was a little shy in the process, I knew that I had to do what I had to do. So I transformed that naturalness into trying to make some money, right? Because when I stopped going to school, I seen all my friends and relatives go off to college and was getting their degrees and doing all of that, and they started their careers, and I said, I need to get money. I know I'm not average. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not going to settle. It was just something in me. If it's in you, it's in you.
It is.
So
Definitely in you.
I said, let me try to figure this out. So Otto's, remember Otto's?
Oh, on
McCall?
Yeah.
Yeah, McCall.
Oh.
So I said, no, digressing. Germantown, right on the corner, it used to be a pharmacy or something, but it's an event space. I know Miss Donna owns it, and her son, Dante Marlowe. Yeah,
Okay.
they owned it. And I said, you know what? I think I want to put together a poetry event because I do some writing. I know how to do this. I do it for my family. And I had an event there. It was very successful. My second one was at Otto's, extremely successful. I started doing the lineup for comedians. I was reaching out to, maybe C and B list comedians and poets, and they were coming out, and I had tasted some success. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take this show on the road. They don't appreciate me that much here in Dayton. I'm going to take this show on the road. And I moved to Atlanta.
So that's how you got to Atlanta.
I did. But But what happened was I discovered that my hustle wasn't as strong as I thought it was when I got to Atlanta.
The cart before the horse.
Man, listen, I got there, but it was all good because I knew I had to step my game up, and that's what I did. That's what I did. It did. It made me hungrier. So, yeah, that grew. That thing really grew.
Yeah. Okay, so when you got to Atlanta, what transpired there? Because we don't have a child yet.
Did I have Caleb? No, I didn't.
You did not.
I didn't.
I know.
So what happened when I got to Atlanta? I had money saved up. This is so funny. I share this story with my son. I saved up about $7,000. I had got me a new car. I had paid up my rent and all my bills in Atlanta for like 3 months. And you know, back then rent was like $1,000, $1,100 in Atlanta. So I felt like I was in a good position. I was a nail tech, a licensed nail tech. So I was working in a shop. And to make the longest story short, 3 months later, it was a pink slip on my door. I was getting evicted because Atlanta will chew you up and spit you back to the DYT if your hustle isn't consistent, you know?
I'm glad you're sharing that.
Yeah.
So many of us run down there and they think it's easy, and it ain't that.
It's not.
It ain't that.
It
definitely and get it.
It'll make you or break you on it, Brandy.
Yeah, it will. It absolutely will. I wasn't broken, but I was like, you can't come down here and play. This ain't no dating. This ain't dating money.
Not to mention
real life down here.
Right. Not to mention everything is 45 minutes to an hour away. So all that arriving on,
I was like, your gas bill alone doubled. I was like, we just talk about the car.
Yeah.
We talk about the house. I was like, it's not a dating way.
Mm-mm.
It ain't to be played with.
It's not.
But okay, so let's talk about single mama versus baby mama, because I had a caller telling me that when it came in Peanuts laughing, because he said, you know, when you have a baby out of wedlock, you're a baby mama, but you're a single mama if you did it the right way. So Sherry Nevins, quote unquote, had a child the right way. So let's talk about the marriage aspect and then becoming a single mom.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I prayed for my son. You know, I prayed for my son because I had him at a very ripe age. I ain't gonna tell y'all that, but I had my son, you know, much later than most of my friends. So prior to my son and my ex-husband, I had been proposed to several times. And I was just very particular. My brother, R.I.P. Mike Nev, he taught me something that stuck with me. He told me, you know, when I was going through low self-esteem and trying to figure out, you know, my way, especially being a dark-skinned woman.
It's hard.
That's a whole nother show.
It's hard.
Yeah, being a dark-skinned woman.
People don't understand that. I'm glad you touched that.
Yeah.
People don't understand that.
Yeah, it's different. He told me, he said, sis, you the prize. He was like, you the prize. You know, you worrying about this guy or if he don't like you. He said, you the prize. Make these niggas recognize that.
Right.
So when he planted that seed, I never forgot it. So during the time when I was hustling, I guess people, excuse me, can I be real? This all about me inside out.
All about
all right? Niggas was
out.
really attracted to the hustle. You know what I mean? And by me being raised around men, I had a different energy, if you will, than a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very attracted to that. And a lot of guys did propose to me and I declined because I figured I wanted something different for my child whenever I had my child. Mm-hmm. End up meeting my ex-husband. Very, very well-to-do family. I mean, they pretty much rich. And he has 2 degrees, one in child psychology, I always get tongue twisted, and biology. Mm-hmm. His mother is a doctor at FAMU. Mm-hmm. I mentioned earlier his siblings graduated from Ivy League colleges. So the family structure was a big deal for me. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make sure that I was secure and my son would be secure. So I married him because he was very grounded in the word of God as well. And I was seeking at that time. I was really seeking, you know, my spirituality and all of that. And he was able to teach me a lot. And I ended up marrying him, and it was literally like once I got married, the veil came off, the true him, came about, and I was like, damn, this nigga can't even handle life. Like, he was in a state of depression that I wasn't aware of prior to marrying him. He dealt with depression.
So it was a facade. You married.
It was a facade, and it really made me realize that sometimes opposites are good for one another, but sometimes sticking with what you know.
Relatable.
And if you that type of woman that can develop that man, and you two choose to develop one another, you might want to stay over there, maybe. I don't know. But for me, I was regretting that I stepped outside of my box.
Really?
I was. It was unrelatable. Like, it was almost like they tried to make me feel ghetto. You know what I mean? They tried to make me feel ghetto.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever go back to your ex-husband?
No. No, I would never go back to my ex-husband because, it's just sometimes the chapters end where they end at. So, no, I would never go back to him. And he's been married a couple of times since our divorce anyway.
So because you guys are on like two different sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So how did it work with the co-parenting aspect? And because you the single mom. So this is all new to you because you went from the hustler to the wife to now the single mom. Mm-hmm. So that whole transition.
And trying to follow God, keeping that balance at the same time.
So how was that?
That was difficult. It was very difficult because it was very difficult. This guy wanted a certain wife. He wanted his wife not to work. I remember I was doing hair and I was working at a flea market in Florida. We moved to Florida. And thumbtack real quick, as soon as I moved to Florida, his previous relationship, he had a 13-year-old son at the time. That woman dropped her son off at our front door like, here, you here, you back, here, you take your son. So I became a new mother, a new wife, and a stepmother all at once. And I was in a different state. So anyway, I was working at this flea market, and he came in there one day, and he was a principal at a school, assistant principal, and he had on his suit and everything. And it was regular people in there with locks, and they playing the music, and we doing what we do. And he was just so disgusted when he came in there, and he said he didn't want his wife working in a place like that. I need to be at home with our son. And, I complied. That was my husband. So I did. I stayed at home, and
so you've done the submissive thing.
I did.
Nothing wrong with it. Don't frown like that.
Well, what I'm saying is, I understand.
It's just you have to do it with the right person. But I don't believe anything's wrong with that.
But sometimes it's not necessary. Well, yes, definitely the right person, but you have to be willing to be submissive and go against what you know to be right for the sake of the relationship.
Sacrificing.
Yeah, and the sacrifice.
You sacrifice yourself for someone else.
And I did that. And
regret?
I don't regret. Lesson. Definitely lesson.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, definitely lessons.
The one thing I know personally with you, so now you spoke about the hustle, the husband, the single mom, the stepmom, the relocation. You've been dating Atlanta, Florida, Cali, now Tennessee.
New York.
See what I'm saying? I didn't even know that part.
Yeah.
Now Tennessee. And in all of this, you've endured a lot of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the resilience.
Okay.
Let's talk about Sherry and the resilient. Like how, because I personally know.
Yeah.
2 brothers, a mother, and to hear recent, a niece.
Yeah.
How you still sitting with me?
I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. So, dealing with all of that, the first loss at that time was devastating. It was my brother Mike. He and I were extremely close, and he was murdered. So, you know, the shock of his life just ending and it being so traumatizing to myself and my family is very, very close knit. That was interesting because I was doing the events, right? I was coming back to Dayton, doing these events, making my money. You know how we do. And I was exhausted, and I had just made it back to Atlanta, and in the middle of the night, I got that call, and I try to be a realistic thinker, even in tough times. So, of course, I just laid there for a minute. I started doing my breathing, my meditation. I started talking to God, and I showered. And that was one of the longest showers I ever took in my life because I was just thinking that this is the end. I won't be able to kick it with my best friend anymore. But fast forward, I feel good. I felt like I showed up for myself. I showed up for my family. I was able to be the go-to to, facilitate his homegoing and make sure that it was done appropriately, the way it would represent his life, and that was one of the hardest things that I had to endure, because while I was planning and going through all of that and supporting and seeing everybody hurting and everything, and I was hurting at the same time, I still had to be strong. So I couldn't really grieve. I had to go back to Atlanta 2 months later and get counseling to get it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, Mike, then my older brother Fee. So Mike died in 2010, right? Right. 2015, my older brother, he died of Fee, Willie. Some people know him by Willie Fee, but he passed from pancreatic cancer in 2015. That was tough. It was like a rerun of what had happened before, facilitating, his funeral, picking out caskets and, doing the hard work that people don't know how to do. Some people don't know what that looks like, but keep living. You'll get your turn. You definitely get your turn. Fee, that was very traumatic because, yeah. And then my mother died in 2020 of cancer. And that was hard. I losing Mike and losing Fee. Your mom is different. You know what I mean? So that was really, really hard to lose my mom and us be the leftover family members, if you will, just trying to collect, pick up, and stay strong. And my niece, she just passed January 31st of this year. And she passed of lupus. And, to see some of the stronger people in your family just really get broken down and still have to be strong, it is what it is. So I thank God that he equipped me with the strength to be able to be there and help myself, show up for myself, show up for my family members, and for my friends and family that may be going through something that I could help out because of experience.
Out of your siblings, you feel you are the advocate of the Nevins family. You are the strength.
I've heard that.
I'm asking.
You know what? I think everybody played a position. I think that my brother Tay is one of the strongest men that I know. I hear people say that to me, like, Sherry, you are one of the strongest people I know. I feel like, okay, I take that. But my brother Dante, I really feel like he's one of the strongest persons I've ever met in my life. Heck yeah. He just endures so much. And with me, I'm passionate. Like, so if I'm mad, you might know I'm mad. He's different. He knows how to say face. And he knows how to be there for everybody and show up the way he knows how to show up. So when he's in his lane, he's 10 toes down in his lane. My sister Toy, same thing. You know, I helped raise Toy and Tay, but Toy, the same thing. She is definitely a soldier. She a sweetie, but don't push her. You hear me? But Toy is she is such a family team player. Like, you can count on her to go get the kids from school. You can count on her when we're doing dinners and cooking for family. You can for doctors. Toy is, everybody plays their position well. Like my family, the Nevins family, my immediate family, we are really blessed. We are. We definitely have a love and a unity and camaraderie that some families will never know.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. Someone approached me and indicated that you were you spoke about Tay, you were advocating for him.
Yeah.
You want to touch on that?
Yeah, we can touch on that.
Because I'm unfamiliar with the situation.
Okay. COVID hit, right? And people weren't able to get out. So we started doing this thing where we would have family day on Sundays. Okay. Everybody get together and we meet at someone's house and we would do family day. You know, people couldn't even go to the stores or really go out. So it's like we miss each other. We don't do our family day. So I was out of town. They had kind of just let up for people to start moving around, and my family decided to go bowling. They like, we always stand at the house, let's go bowling. They went bowling. And they went bowling, and the gentleman that worked at the bowling alley basically disrespected my niece, Dante, my brother's daughter. Mm-hmm. He yelled at her. He told her to stop bowling the ball or something, and he was like fist balled up and was cursing her out. My family see what happened, and all this on videotape. They see what happened. They go approach the situation, and the man was like, I said what the fuck I said, and you know, and my brother like, wait a minute, you know, they say y'all better get him, you know what I mean? So it turned into this big thing, and the dude was very aggressive towards my family, and he was like, and see, this is what the media don't show. That's why you gotta have that bread right so you can get the right attorneys. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So the footage shows this dude raising up, getting ready to try to come over the counter. And like I said, my brother from Hillside, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? He had right. So he had the bowling ball in his hand, and when the dude was flinching, he hit him in the face with the bowling ball. Right. And you know, the news, Matt Heck, everybody went in saying that this man hit an autistic man at the bowling alley with a ball in the face, and they keep showing him getting hit in the face, and it does look very. It made me cringe. I was like, damn. But really, it was my brother protecting his family, and honestly, anybody in that situation would have done the same thing. So that's what happened, and they were trying to give him a lot of time for that. In jail. Matt Heck and them stepped in. Instead of it going away as it should have, as an assault or whatever, they turned it into a big political situation. So we had to hire attorneys. And I used to be in a civil rights organization called New Order National Human Rights. I joined that organization as the national youth director when I lived in Atlanta. And I called my people up, and R.I.P. John, love and miss you. Called my people up, and I flew Gerald out. They came, and we actually had a lot of people, a lot of support come out to the bowling alley, and had a news press, and did what we had to do.
They've been slipping on Miss Sherry Nevins one night.
Hey, they can sleep all they want to.
Yeah,
they can sleep, stay sleep.
They don't know the importance of that networking, do they?
No. Not at all.
That's my number one. Mm-hmm. Network, and shout out to Network and Chill.
Networking.
Chill.
Okay, let's talk about your personal life all over again.
Okay, let's go.
So you were dating, business, all of the above, A, B, C, and D, with Mr. Freeway Rick Ross.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. So let's talk about the personal and the business and the balance. How does that work? How does that look?
Okay. So when I moved to Atlanta, and I really stayed and started to create some roots in Atlanta, I was blessed enough to be able to manage and run the historical Star Theater. Okay. It's a theater where a lot of Black Panther meetings were held. People like Heavy D, KRS-One, a lot of performers or whatever used to perform there years ago. And it's a beautiful facility. It's in a minority area. I'll tell you in a minute. God, dog. What's the name? Where Krispy Kreme? What's the street Krispy Kreme is on? Or used to be?
Where? In
Downtown. No, girl. West End. West
It's
End.
on the West End.
West
Okay.
End.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the name of it in
What's
a
the
minute.
name of the
Talking
theater?
about Boogaloo's?
Yeah.
Mary Mac Sea Room?
Yeah.
What name
kinda.
of the theater again?
Okay, got you.
The Star Theater. Yep, Star
Okay,
Theater.
you're talking about down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I was actually running a Star Theater, and just give you the quick backdrop on that. There was an Asian lady that owned that whole block. Actually, come to find out, her name was Suna. She owned the whole block. I came in from Dayton, just hustling, doing what we do,
Right.
and in favor. Let me be clear, favor from God. But I ended up linking up with her, and I was able to actually manage it. Some people couldn't even get in there to hold events. They were just very, disgruntled at her. They felt like it was a Black community, and why is she doing all this anyway? I ended up running a Star Theater, and I started creating nights. One night would be poetry, other night would be comedy, and all of these different things. And I started growing. Freestyle entertainment started really growing. And I met this dude, and Tiny from T.I.'s wife, and this producer by the name, or promoter by the name of Super Dave. And I was doing my thing, and this young lady, she wanted to be a part of freestyle entertainment. I had a group of people, it was 39 of us, that were volunteers to be a part of freestyle entertainment and Star Theater, which was the real draw. Mm-hmm. And these people were very well educated and all of this. They had their careers and everything in place, but they understood the big picture. So I had all these people, and she wanted to be a part of the group, this young lady. So I was supposed to meet her at Krispy Kreme, but I used to be so tired. I kept rescheduling. This morning on a Saturday, she say, we have our meeting at 10. I was in the bed. I said, God said, if you don't go to this meeting, you're going to lose her. You're going to lose her. So just go. I got up, tried to pull myself together, go meet her. We having our meeting. We see these Range Rovers and all of this stuff outside of Krispy Kreme, and all these guys come in. They had a meeting. We had our meeting. We all kind of finished at the same time. One of the guys from that group was trying to talk to old girl, right? Mm-hmm. Lady London, that's her name, was trying to talk to Lady London. And they came over to me too. They was like, yeah, we were Freeway Rick Ross. You know Rick Ross? They never said Freeway. They was like, we were Rick Ross. I'm like, Rick Ross? Okay, right. Rick Ross. I was like, oh, the Star Theater. Right. So we were talking, and I Googled, right? Because I still didn't know who he was. They pointed him out, and I was thinking, Rick Ross looked kind of old. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the Rick Ross that I know. So I Googled him, and I got the real 411 real quick. While they were meeting, I was at Google like this. So I walked over to him, and I was like, hey, I'm the manager of the Star Theater. Would you be interested? It's almost New Year's Eve. Would you be interested in coming over there, doing something? He was like, yeah, take my number. And I was like, what? Take my number. Right. And this is, now thumbtack that. In my mind, I was really hustling for myself, but I was thinking of my brother Mike, because he had gotten murdered and he had left kids behind. And I was like, this is my shot. I'm gonna leave a legacy. I'm gonna create a legacy for my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is it. So he was like, yeah, take my number. I said, I have a magazine, Freestyle Entertainment Magazine. Can we do an interview with you? He was like, yeah, take my number. And then that's when I pitched, come over to the theater. So anyway, he ended up setting it up, an interview over the phone. So that morning at my little condo, it was all the people, they came over with lights and cameras and all these speaker phones, and they were doing an interview with Rick over the phone for this magazine. And that's when it first started. That's when our relationship started. My intent was strictly business. I mean, just be real. Like, I know when guys want to get with you. I know what that energy feels like without them even saying anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I said to myself, this ain't that. You know what I mean? I ain't effing this up. Right. You know, this is going to be business. I'm going to do something different. So what I started doing was research, and I went to YouTube University where I started doing my due diligence on everything, how to interview, how to, ask the proper questions, how to facilitate management for artists, all of these different things. And from there, Rick liked my hustle is what he said. And he asked me to be his manager. So from there, I started really moving him around in Atlanta, working my network. I had grown a large network at that time. And I ended up getting with Super Dave, the promoter. This guy's crazy, right? He real tall. He has this blonde beard, this blonde hair, and he wear this crown, and he wear this real long white fur coat, and he got like this convertible. He got like 7, 8 Range Rover, this convertible car. So he have all these people driving his cars in the caravan, and he in a drop top with this crown on, literally a crown, and he doing his thing in Atlanta, but he had that cake too. So Super Dave, I said, hey, I have this artist, Freeway Rick Ross. Oh, yeah, I know Freeway, whatever. That led into him getting a billboard. We got a billboard to promote Rick for New Year's. We ended up going on tour, and Tiny had Tiny's Tequila at the time. So she was, it seemed like we were always at the same places at the same time. So we were kind of like on tour together, if you will, pushing everything that was going on for that New Year's Eve event for Freeway Rick Ross. And from there, he officially asked me to be his manager. And that's what I was doing. And it was strictly business. So there was never any intimacy, any intent. He was very disciplined, very professional. Like, I learned what professionalism looked like by being around him. He wasn't mixing the two. He wasn't sleeping around with women or anything like that. So it was straight up business until we went it was a Super Bowl, right? So these promoters had done this big thing in Arizona. I think that might have been, was that 2014 when the Super Bowl was in Arizona, whatever. We went there, and it was so amazing. It was just such an amazing experience. And we came back to California, and I was coming back to Ohio. And that's when he made his move on me. And it was very shocking because I wasn't expecting that. My mind was fixated on, this is a business relationship, so I had been working with him. It was strictly professional. Right. This is my opportunity for my family, so so we kissed, we got together, we had a conversation, and then from that point on, we still kept it professional. People never knew that we were in a relationship. I never exposed that because I didn't want it to cross-contaminate what was going on.
Absolutely. I admire you for that.
But I kind of regretted that a little bit, Brandy.
Why? Because you feel like you were in a shadow?
In a sense.
We feel like that.
In a sense. But it still panned out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But at the time, like, I would always push. I didn't need the fame. I was like, Tupac, give me the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all of that.
Cut me the check.
But people were literally breaking their feet and necks to get in front of the camera because he was there.
Right.
And then in hindsight, during some of that run when I was with him, it's no sight of me. You don't see Sherry nowhere, but I was the driving force, and he'll tell you that it was me booking him. It was me making all those things happen. But when you look back on it, I don't see me that much in those things, in those, waves, if you will. Yeah, so it's all good.
I don't know. That regret probably just comes with us being a woman, our human nature, our build-up. But you're a hustler, baby. And that's just, you keep that in your forefront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ain't that big of a deal, but I just like, damn, I don't see
it
me.
ain't-
I took this picture. Where, I did that. Like, where? So,
That's
yeah.
just the woman nature.
Mhm. But that was it.
So how is it now? Like, cause y'all still business, like y'all still business.
And he'll say that, like, I when he was here the last time, we was at City Hall or whatever, and we had closed this really big deal. A lot of construction is getting ready, new construction is getting ready to be coming here to Dayton and in Cincinnati.
I
in
attend
Cincinnati.
City planning.
Nice. Well, I'm saying specifically with me as a part of it and Rick as a part of it, some different projects. But we were in the elevator and I was like, give me a kiss. And he was like, come on, shit, that's big. Yeah, we were in the elevator, you know what I mean? But it was funny because that's him. He's always wanting to be business. And me too, overall. But right now is really good. I respect and appreciate him. He respects and appreciates me and my growth. And, we're both doing our own separate thing, which I think is very important in relationships. Like, you have your goals and dreams and vice versa. And then we work very, very well together, too, as a team. So,
what's your sign?
Sagittarius.
What's his?
Aquarius.
My type of guy.
Mine too. My sister is an Aquarius. My best friend is an Aquarius.
We are like no other.
Yeah. So
like no other.
Yeah, so things are good with me and Freeway right now. Really, really good.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the 750 and above.
Okay.
Now we go on to Sherry's business.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
So I've been doing at one point I was working on like 15 projects. I still have the list, right? I was in the cannabis industry, the credit repair industry. I was branding Freeway. What else was I doing? It was so much. I still got a list of all of these things. We were working on something here in Dayton where they have recovery programs and just so much stuff. And I said to this guy named Tennessee, he was a millionaire. That's his government name. And I said, Tennessee, how you get your money? He wasn't even 40 at the time. I said, how do you stay so disciplined? He said, I master a thing. One thing. He said, I master that one thing, and then I go from there.
So like a building block.
And I thought that makes sense, but I'm good at everything. You know what I'm saying? I would be honest. I was like, I'm making money off of all of these different things. But I took what he said into consideration, and I prayed about it. And I asked God, what would be the one thing that will keep me from being recession proof and will always move forward? And the business credit was it. Credit repair and business credit, no matter what industry you're in, you have to have those that foundation laid properly. Absolutely. So that's how I end up getting into it. And that was back in 2016, I think. And I was doing FSI credit repair in Atlanta. Then I moved to Dayton when my mom got sick, and I said, Dayton Millennial Credit Repair. I had a storefront on Salem Avenue, and I named it that, but that still wasn't it. I got with my business partner that you had met that time, and me and him worked on it and came up with that name, and that was the name that stuck. And so July 17th will be my 5-year anniversary.
Okay.
Yep, July 17th. So
and you're still feeling good about it.
I'm still feeling good about it. And I'm still blessing people and helping and changing the narrative. So, credit repair and business credit repair is awesome.
Shout out to 750 and above.
Thank you.
Out. So, as now, what can you tell my single mothers?
Ah, man. I would tell, considering I was one for a long time.
Yeah. And when I'm asking this question, I don't want it to be vague because I want you to speak about from the business to the personal. And then the separation.
Okay.
And then the inclusive. How can you help a single mama? Because we are lacking so much. I'm kind of like you know what I mean? So I don't personally lack a lot. I don't know everything, but I don't lack a lot because I'm seeking the information. But for those who don't know how to get out here, those who don't know how to network, what can you tell them?
That don't know how to network?
Yeah.
And don't know how. What I'll tell them, first of all.
That don't, some of them are just truly clueless.
Really clueless. That's interesting. What
They are though, aren't they? Yeah.
It's very true. What I would say to them is, don't give up on yourself. Is this my camera right here? Don't give up on yourself, because if you don't believe in you, nobody else will believe in you. I don't care what the situation looks like. I did a lot of work. I was on Section 8 in Atlanta working off hotspot. I had no internet. I couldn't afford it. And even prior to that, people counted me out. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say never give up on yourself and stay before God. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and I will add all these things unto you. So I would say never give up on yourself, stay before God, and always lock that visual of you and your good life. Make it a still picture in your mind. Never, ever lose that. Never lose focus, and know that you are valuable. No matter what nobody else says about you, you are very valuable. Single mother, loving your children. Again, keep them before God. Don't have a lot of men and women in the same space as your child, dropping off all kinds of different energies and belief systems. Try to protect your child as best as you can, but educate yourself on being a mother at the same time. Reading books is fundamental, for real. So if I had to leave right there, I would say that. Just believe in you no matter what.
And what are you going to teach us about credit? A lot of them don't know about credit.
One thing I'll say about credit is you probably already have a lot of things in place that will get you the things that you want, versus thinking you always need to save up money. You have to have money, because if you don't have the money to pay the credit card debt, you're going to be in a worse situation. But in terms of credit, try not to apply for a lot of stuff. Try not to buy a lot of things until you check your credit. See your status. Make sure you're always checking. Credit Karma is not always accurate, but it's free, and it'll give you a gauge on where you are. Pay your bills on time. I know that's hard. It's easier said than done, but if you can make an arrangement, make sure you pay your bills on time, and then come and see me. Basically, after this show, I'm going to get with Brandy and see if I can come up with some type of solution for single mothers, some type of packaging for credit repair to help you guys get on track. So come and see me. I'm going to say that you don't have to know anything about credit. Come and see me and I'll help you. So
I got a question for you when it comes down to credit. Personally, I usually stay like below my 30%. Is that good, or is it 50? Because I hear 50 and then I hear 30.
It's definitely 30, but if you want stellar credit, 8%. 8% and lower.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I want stellar.
Stellar. So 8%. And it's a trick to that. Let me tell you this real quick. So just say you have two credit cards, credit card A, credit card B. Credit card A, the payment is due on the 1st of the month, right? Okay. Credit card B, the payment is due on the 10th of the month. Okay. So but you don't have a lot of income, but you have your bill money, your rent money, and all of that. So what you want to do is put that money on credit card A, pay credit card A off on like the 27th of the month, 28th of the month, right? You want to pay it a few days before, and then what will happen? Before the due date. Okay. And what will happen?
Before the saving day.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you want to pay it prior. And then they'll probably report maybe on the 3rd or the 4th of the month, right? So now you have zero balance on credit card A, because you put all your bill money on it. You have zero balance. And then it's going to report on the 3rd or the 4th. And now your credit is going to go up even higher. Now you can use that credit card and pay the bills that needed to be paid. And then you can even... it's a lot. So I don't want to just say, for instance, I'm talking about for the broke people, right? Say, and then you pay those bills. You can even withdraw the cash off of that card. It's a little higher interest rate, but you can still pull that money out, go put that on credit card B, right? Credit card B is due on the 10th, but you want to pay it on the 7th or the 8th. It'll land maybe like before the 15th, and your credit will still stay up. So basically, if that makes sense, if not, then y'all can call me and I can get with you and make it make sense. But it does, because what'll happen is you won't be in a balloon situation when it comes to your credit. So you won't be like in debt saying that you owe you've used 30% of your credit card balance or whatever, if that makes any sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, well, it makes sense to me.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I play credit all the time.
Good. And that's all it is moving
It's
your
just a
money
game.
around.
It's a game.
Moving your money around.
It's a game.
Yes. Yes,
It's a
but you can turn credit into cash too.
Oh, I'm familiar.
So yeah, we could talk about that. You know, when I'm in that mind frame. So I guess I'm switching.
Yeah, I got you all over the place.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Okay, so I thank you for sharing your story, and let's touch on these comments. Let's see, who we doing?
Let's do porcelain first. Porcelain.
I can't see it. Where is portion?
So I'll read the comment.
Okay, you read them, because I can't see. The first comment I see is Sharice Snowden. Says, wow. That's what I see.
All right. So we got Porcelain. Simon White says, congratulations. I love it. You got Janine Porter. Shout out to the clothing brand.
Shout out.
Atlanta's
You see I got my shirt on now. God can do anything.
Atlanta's not for the week at all. Love y'all. You got Sherry Snowden, who commented a lot. Shout out to her for sure, because she been holding it down. She the first one to ask about the ex-husband situation.
Thank you.
Wow, I feel like you're dealing with a straight narcissist.
Yes, I was.
Says, do you consider him an investment because of your child, such as your ex-husband?
Do I consider him as an investment? Absolutely, because you know, he brought life to my child. You know what I mean? I don't want to trade Caleb for anything. Right. So yeah, that's the best thing that came out of that, maybe.
Okay, sure. She says, how does your child handle the new lifestyle?
Interesting. So I was thinking about I had even asked him, and then I was gonna ask you. My son just turned 20, right? So in short, he's had some ups and downs in his life, his young life, and now he's gonna pursue motivational speaking. So we
go for it.
Yeah, I am, and he's been practicing. You know, so he's gonna pursue that, but he's doing good. He's in college. Sports medicine is his major. He's also working. You know, he's doing good. I'm proud of my son.
And now let's piggyback on him. How was that relationship with him and Rick? Do they have a relationship?
They do.
They do. Okay.
Rick calls Caleb Mr. Caleb because when Caleb was younger, he always called him Mr. Rick. so they have a good relationship. He gives him sound advice. Rick across the world, I bought so many of these books per him, and he has as well. He always asks Caleb, did you read the books? You read the books I gave you? You still reading the books? As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
I got that. I just read that over the weekend.
Are you serious? That's one of my favorites. As a Man Thinketh, by James Allen. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yes.
Those three books.
Okay.
So
I got 2 out of 3.
Yeah. So he always asks Caleb about reading the books and just letting him, and the point to reading the books is understanding principle. So he teaches Caleb a lot of principles. So yeah, they have a good relationship.
That's great.
Yeah.
Another comment section was, what is your definition of submissive?
My definition of submissive is understanding, first of all, position. You know what I mean? Just understanding position, understanding that my belief system is the Most High God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, man, woman, child, and animals. Like it's levels to it. So if you, as a woman, a lot of women got it messed up in turn. Man, we have it so messed up.
I think we have it messed up because there's not a lot of men to lead us.
But if you know position, you're right. But
then also you grew up in a 2-parent home.
But
so
my
your
mother,
stance is gonna be different.
But can I chime in on that? I grew up in a 2-parent home, but my parents got married at 18. It was a lot of cussing and fighting going on in my house.
Of course.
So it wasn't like it was just this Cosby Show type thing.
No, not about a Cosby Show type thing. However, you saw her role.
My mama was very strong-willed.
But you saw her role. I know your mama. Yes, she was. But you still saw the roles. And even like me being a single, raised by a single mom, my mother had to wear all the hats. versus your mother didn't have to wear all the hats, whether she was strong or not. She didn't have to wear it all. So a lot of times as single moms, we don't teach our women how to be women because we wearing all the hats. We don't even know how.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying, but piggybacking on that, I did grow up in a 2-family home. And I was a single parent for years. My ex-husband and I got divorced when my son was 3. Mm-hmm. He's 20. So I've been a single parent. So I get it. I wear all the hats as well. However, I also understand that when I was a child, I thought as a child, I did childish things, but now I'm a grown woman, I put childish things away. Mm-hmm. So that means that if you really want it to work in a relationship, we got to get out of our own way as women. And Juanita Bynum said, there was a trend going around, I'm a bad bee. She said, you're not a bad bee until you birthed a man. And I'm not talking about a child. I'm talking about when you help develop a man into his purpose. So that's when I'm saying being submissive. How bad do you want it? How bad do you really want to be in a relationship that's healthy? You know what I mean? Submissiveness to me is allowing my partner to lead, even when sometimes you don't feel like he's leading you in the right way. But that's when you go in your prayer closet and you pray for them. Mm-hmm. And you in love and in your femininity, you kind of let him think he's taking the lead, but you direct him in the right way. Mm-hmm. So being submissive to me means sometimes, like when you have a man, you have to learn how to not be so hardcore, which is all we know how to do. Mm-hmm. That's what we've been operating in. But at the same time, we're in an information world right now. So anything you want to know about a relationship and how to be submissive, you can look on your phone. You can Google it. So being submissive means a lot to me because I have been raised around a lot of good men that may not have had money, all the time or whatever the world likes, but they good guys. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't get a fair chance because, now I'm gonna take that back. The men I grew up around, they became leaders. They made themselves into the men that they wanted to be, and they end up choosing. You know what I mean? But a lot of men don't have that in them, and they just need a little help. And women, we have that type of power. It ain't always about being heard. In order to be understood, you have to understand. So being submissive is a big deal to me. We could talk about that,
One more part drop some jewels. When it comes to being submissive, should we basically become doormats for men because the environment is new to us, especially if we're married?
Say that one more time.
No.
When it comes to being submissive, should we basically become a doormat for men because the environment is new to us, especially if we're married?
I don't think being submissive is being a doormat.
Right.
I totally disagree with that. That was one of the best experiences that I ever had in my life, was being submissive.
Nice.
Whether the outcome was great or not. It was one of the best things, but I wanted to do it.
Right.
I wanted to see if I could do it, mm-hmm. because I'm a very strong individual. So I wanted to see, could I do it? Mm-hmm. So I did it. It wasn't really for him. It was for
you.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's not about being a doormat. You, like she said, what she basically just told you to play chess.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told him.
And then being a doormat. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. The doormat though, that was
because
far.
that makes,
don't look at it. They look at it as a negative,
and I
think that comes with the times. And it's not like they're supposed to lead the home. Like, right. I don't know, everybody talk about the Bible. What y'all reading? Because that's what it say.
Right.
Like, so.
And it's more to it than that. But the doormat is a low vibration for me when you say that, because, and I understand that's a valid question. However, if you're filled up, you could never feel like a doormat. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? Mm-mm. So I say, put into yourself, build into yourself, your career, your children, whatever it is that makes you feel whole. Make sure you're whole, and then you get from your overflow, even to your husband. Exactly. So no, never a doormat. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Any more questions like
Absolutely.
that?
We got a couple more. What helped you through your trauma? Do you have a good support system? I think you kind of answered this a little bit. And she also asked the second part is, do you have to face some sacrifices?
Everything is a sacrifice.
Say that.
What helped me through my trauma was I felt so low, like at times. I've seen colors in life that very few people have seen. Like I understand that I don't want to be here no more conversation. You know, I understand that. Check on your strong friends. We going through it. Like life is hard. Whoever in the heck told you life was gonna be easy lied. You know what I mean? Like you can make lemonade out of the lemons, but life is so hard. So in terms of what helped me through my trauma, it was understanding that I wanted to be here for me, show up for me, but I look at my son, I look at my family. We done been through so much, and I understand my life is not my own, and I am valuable. So what helped me through my trauma was understanding that. In terms of support system, yes, and it's so funny, right? Because my family, my friends, I do have a support system, but we only, as Black people, we only know how to support how we know how to support.
Yeah.
So, right. So it was like I still was by myself a lot of times. So, support system was cool, but I strongly recommend counseling for everybody. We should be born with a counselor. Yeah. You should be, just like we have doctors, dentists, we should have counselors. You know what I mean? Because it helps us balance out. Like our brain gets sick sometimes too, just like our bodies get sick and we go get a prescription. It's people who are trained to help you understand what you don't understand. So if that will help anybody get I love counselors. I've had multiple counselors, and I recommend. I tell you, I recommend it because it just things make sense for you. It's not that you don't have it together and you weak, and that's a stigma in the Black community. Like get you a counselor, and if you got Care Source and stuff, it's free. So get you a counselor.
So she also going to say, I hear you taking the role of superhero on your family, the big sister role. What role do you prefer versus the role you've been given? Sherry, I'm gonna need your help on some of the questions I be getting. Okay. Sherry got the sauce. Go ahead.
Okay. So, you know what? I play the position that I was given. I don't choose anything. You know what I'm saying? If whatever I'm faced with that's gonna help me and my people, my family, my friends, it's a bigger picture.
Say that again. That's one of my affirmation cards. Play your position with purpose.
Play your position. I like that, Brandy.
You got them.
I like that. Play your position with purpose.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is, because
people don't understand that.
If you have a purpose, right?
Taking that back.
Yes.
Let him out of limelight.
Yep.
That's your purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So play your position with purpose. That's what it is. I don't choose, it chose me, but I can delegate what's healthy, what's not healthy, what I can do and what I can't do. But I enjoy being there for my sister. I enjoy being there for my brother, so it is what it is. I know God won't put more on me than I can bear, but I'm cut for this, because where I'm going, this is the practice field, where I'm going. So
say that, love.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Come on over. So
Peanut, give me,
I'm
baby, too tough to be crying on camera.
All of my ladies get their flowers.
Brandy,
all of my ladies get their flowers, and that's my thank you card. And the one thing I know about you is,
thank you.
My brand. I ain't really branded it yet, but my shirt is Solo and Solid.
I'm definitely rock it.
There, perfect shot.
And there's your affirmation cards. Thank you.
She gave me gifts.
Yes.
Oh, y'all, thank
all of my
you
guests
so
will get
much.
It's about, pouring into each other.
Gym City Mama is making a difference and changing the narrative.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate
Me and
that.
Janine was talking about how you are a natural at this.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
well,
was talking
thank
about
you,
that. You're a natural.
Thank
You're really
you.
good.
Thank you. I'm hoping I go somewhere. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You are, trust.
It's God. I'm waiting on him.
Say God.
Yeah, because when I said the cart before the horse, I'm like, someone sent me a sermon the other day, and I was like, I got to do my work here.
Mm-hmm.
When you said you focus on 750, I'm focused here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot of everything else, be an octopus. I'm focused here. I feel comfortable here. spotlighting you women.
Nice.
Like, we doing the damn thing. Like
We are.
We are doing
We the
damn
niggas with
thing.
money now. We them.
Shout out to my boy Ahava. You guys know. So anybody watching today,
We gotta give Sherry some tickets, man.
yeah, I gave her some. So
She
anybody
did.
watching,
No, the
today,
other Sherry, the Sherry who been commenting.
Oh yeah, Snowden, absolutely.
Snowden, please make sure you DM Miss
Yes,
Brandy
so
to get you some
if
tickets.
anyone wants to attend the live podcast on Wednesday, he is doing a book signing as well.
And a live
at the
podcast.
Schuster Center. So if y'all just want to be cute and put your heels on and be nosy, that's fine too.
Put that on.
But if you want to come and learn about the industry, you never know. Oh, if you want to come and network,
Work and chill.
come on out. I got tickets here. So if anybody is interested, we have 2 different shows, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Come on.
Hey, Toy, I see you, sister.
A couple more good
that's my
comments. You
girl.
got Janine who said, "You're such a strong individual. I totally admire your strength." You also have
She is, absolutely.
you got
Thank you, Janine.
Jason McClurkin said, "Okay, chocolate, do your thing."
Thanks, Jag, bro.
You got Monique Sigley saying, "Amen." You got Janine again saying, "Great advice." William said, 2 of those books I have and they are fire.
Yes.
And he said,
William,
can a
2 and
speaker
3.
speak so we can listen? For sure, bro. I appreciate you, bro. I got you, cuz. Yolanda said, "Great interview, ladies." Right. And Toya, she said, "My sisters, love." David L just popped in and said, "Great interview, ladies. Play your position with purpose. Love it."
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shout out to my guy Peanut who got my bag. And
Thank you, Peanut.
And I got his. He's here
Love.
doing the engineering aspect for us as well as doing our comments. And y'all better check Sherry out. Y'all been slipping on Sherry. I ain't been slipping on Sherry.
Don't tell him. I want to pop him over the head
I
while
like
they
that.
sleep.
on this hustler.
I like
Let him
that.
stay asleep.
That's right.
That's
That's
I like
right.
that. Don't tell them.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the love and the support. And stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Peace, y'all. Gym City Mama, thank you.
Thank you. That was good.
It's your homie C-Lock from Network and Chill, where the network is real and entrepreneurs build, man. Y'all come on and rock with us.
Sean Fields, man. Y'all know where to catch me every single Monday night. We coming with heat, man. Y'all gotta make sure y'all get y'all priorities together, man. We going over small business entrepreneurship, some financial tips, man. Pete, tell me, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, it's your boy Peanut, CEO of Dash Resource LLC. Your business is my business, and this guy needs a logo. Pharaoh.
Yo, it's Pharaoh. Yeah, make sure you at Gym City Market. Monday, December 19th, man. We there. Entrepreneurs. Yeah, come on.
Over 1 million t-shirts sold, man. That's a sack.
It is, but you know, I'm upset we ain't sold 2 million yet.
That's all. What's most important for you at T-Shirt Kings, man?
Customer service, man. Taking care of my customers, making sure that they major.
What about your team?
I got the best team in the world. They get busy. They love the customers. We got a saying, I don't gotta go to work. I get to go to work.
What are some of the different styles of shirts that like you can get made here?
I got DTF printing. We are definitely the screen print kings. We turn that around immediately for you,